To state the obvious, women are not smart, but you can't lead America with women. They have no clue about America. Oh, you don't think so? I'll be darned.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
Yeah, you don't just
show up. Yeah.
You don't just put a fucking pineapple statue in your front yard.
You don't put a tarp down.
And wait there in the yard with some sun tea. Hey, I'll be around here to fill your holes up sooner or later, honey. Don't worry your pretty little head. We'll get you
Big
full.
sign that says like
We'll get
free
you
use.
dripping like a cream pie.
Yeah, just
Well, it's 48 minutes of dogs barking, and I'm using a voice from a bit that hasn't happened yet. I'm podcasting from the future. How about that? How about that, Jason? What do you think about that?
That's pretty amazing. Podcasting from the future.
Yeah, it's great. It turns out no turfs.
Oh.
We sent them all to the gulag.
Oh, wow.
We told them we were going to show them the only funny Steven Crowder joke, and as my accent changes, because now that I've gone back into the past to explain this, I'm now changing the future. It's a strange thing to understand, but we were going to show them the only funny Steven Crowder joke, and what really was is that we put a captive bolt to their head, and we pressed the button.
That worked?
Yeah, and the jalapeno peppers are spicy again. It's fantastic.
Oh, wow.
What's not to like?
Fantastic. Well, welcome back from the future. I appreciate you coming in.
Now that I've explained all that, I've changed the future twice now.
Uh-oh.
And my dick's small again.
Oh, God damn it. We were almost there.
Yeah.
We could have had it all. All right.
Well, we saved the future, but guess what? My pecker's useless.
It's a sacrifice we had to make for humanity. That's how I feel about it.
I would absolutely sacrifice every soldier at Iwo Jima to have a respectable 6.5-er.
Why be greedy? 5's fine. 5 works.
Spoken like a man. Spoken.
I will say no more on this subject.
It's like that fucking Simpsons meme of I made Riley Reid come 5 times today.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys must be getting bored making Riley Reid come. No one who's made Riley Reid come would ever say that.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Already off the fucking rails.
It's okay. It's okay. That's the magic of editing is for. Spend 6 fucking hours a week doing it. Anyway, all right. Do you want to talk about the Danville Dairy Daddies?
I am not familiar.
Just saying the name. This came to us courtesy of Today in Tabs, doing the Lord's work and compiling really weird
is this
shit.
a minor league baseball team?
This is the minor league baseball team in Danville, Virginia. The Danville Dairy Daddies.
God, that is a horny logo.
It is a very horny logo. Shirtless, buff cow with DD on the belt buckle, which I thought was Daredevil's thing. But anyway, jeans.
No, here it's Dairy.
Yeah, here it's Dairy Daddies. Here, jeans, no shoes. Yeah,
No
so,
shoes.
no
That's
shoes.
filthy.
Yeah. So the general manager of the team quoted in sportslogos.net. This was a new site for me. I'd never been to this website before. The general manager, Austin Scherer, quoted as, "There are families and generations of families throughout Danville and Southern Virginia that grew up, if not on dairy farms, up the road from one, or they went to school or church or played youth sports with dairy farmers or children of dairy farmers." And then it shows the logo again. That cow is horny. I'm sorry.
That cow.
Oh, his name, by the way, is McCreamy.
I mean, what an interesting way to honor your rural heritage. It's like if you came from coal country and your minor league team was called Ruddy Redneck.
Yeah.
He's about to finger pop your Pinkerton, or some shit. I don't know.
Dan Simon of Studio Simon, the firm responsible for creating the brand. The whole concept centers around the word daddies. The point is, this is a smooth bovine, he's your daddy. They're not even denying it at this point.
In a world gone mad, I feel these are all people being, I have to assume, at least being like sincere.
Yeah. While creating the character, Simon had one of pop culture's smoothest talkers in mind, Joey Tribbiani from the show Friends. How you doing? Asked Dan Simon of Studio Simon in his best Joey voice. The only difference is I would like to think maybe this dairy daddy is a little smarter than Joey. Oh boy.
He looks like he's ready to give you some of his heavy cream.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and then the other logo is just double D's.
That's daddies. What he's looking for.
Yeah, true.
He's looking for some heifer pussy.
It would be like sextuple D's because cows have the udder, right?
Perhaps in this mythology, he's looking for a humanoid female cow man.
Oh, okay. I got it.
It's so horny.
And what's funny is it's probably one of the least horny things on this episode to come. So
yeah, this is going to be a surprisingly horny episode.
This is it's
we become sex guys.
Fucking buckle in, baby. I can't even read half this story with a straight face.
Here, I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Breaking. U.S. Air Force employee charged with giving classified information to woman he met on a dating site.
So the texts that they got in Discovery for this, they're insane. March 11th, dear, what is shown on the screens of the special room? 2 question marks. It is very interesting. Here's March 15th. By the way, you were first to tell me that NATO members were traveling by train and only now, already evening, this was announced on our news. You are my secret informant, love. How were your meetings? Successfully? March 18th, beloved Dave, do NATO and Biden have a secret plan to help us? And it goes on like that. Yeah. It's great that you get information about specified country 1. First, I hope you will tell me right away. You are my secret agent. With love.
Sweet Dave, the supply of weapons is completely classified, which is great. My sweet Dave, thanks for the valuable information. It's great that 2 officials from USA are going to Kiev.
Mm-hmm. Dave, I hope tomorrow NATO will prepare a very unpleasant surprise for Putin. Will you tell me? He was down bad. So bad.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Starved for it.
Jesus Christ. And yes, this is a real United States District Court for the District of Nebraska. David Franklin Slater, the airman there, co-conspirator, claimed to be a female living in Ukraine and used a online dating profile to communicate with Officer Slater. And then asking for and receiving national defense information. So, oh boy. And you can read the whole thing at justice.gov. They've got it all up there. I'll put a link in the show description if you want to read it.
Has this guy ever heard of a brothel?
Yeah, something, anything. But they did indict him.
Fucking taking a piece of rye and
liver, he's got
the liver in there. Or, geez, anything,
mashed
man.
potatoes,
like you've got a problem and you need to stop.
All right, now here's the detail that I think was missing from a lot of these. The gentleman is 63. Worked in a classified space at U.S. Stratcom, held top secret clearance from August 2021 till April 2022 after retiring as a lieutenant colonel. It is alleged that he willfully, improperly, and unlawfully transmitted NDI classified as secret. Here's a few reactions from Blue Sky. Kevin Snyder, beloved Dave, I and fellow countrymen of specified country 1 all love M142 high mobility artillery rocket system. It is my dream to someday see one in person, but they move around so often. Will you tell me where I may get a glimpse soon?
Oh, that's good.
Chris Hudson, C Hudson 99 on Blue Sky. My darling Dave, it make me so horny to hear type and location of air defenses. I touch boob for description of radar. This guy, he needed to go and do Bottle Night. Do you know what Bottle Night is, Brian?
It's probably some dumb bullshit.
It is extremely dumb. It is a gentleman named Colin Rutherford on Twitter.
Do you know what a bottle night is?
No, Colin, tell me.
Well, probably not, because my GFI invented during a 2023 blizzard in Buffalo, New York. We lock our phones away, turn the TV off, each of us grab a bottle of wine and talk. That's it. We simply talk and enjoy each other's presence. We live together, but it's easy to miss out on quality time. What do you think? Do you have other methods for enjoying quality time with your partner? Yeah, I call it ignoring each other on the couch, doom scrolling.
Yeah, well, you're watching a TV show and you're not really paying attention, either one of you.
Watching Sopranos.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah, he invented getting buzzed and hanging out with his girlfriend. It's so stupid.
I also would sometimes go hang out with a friend and we both would just clear a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't anything.
He didn't make this up. This isn't new. The reaction, of course, has been like, yeah, I invented hanging out with girls. Boodum at Tim Allen Italian, which the image is so perfect in my mind. But yes, Tim Allen Italian on Twitter there. I invented talking to my girlfriend. We both have to get hammered, though, or it doesn't work.
Amazing.
Which, I mean, I get it. You know, some people are not great.
So before we move on,
yeah,
the tie into the military individual giving information they shouldn't. Previous subject of this segment from a couple months ago, a young man who
that's right,
who gave away secrets to a bunch of 14-year-olds he was trying to impress on a Discord channel called Thug Shaker Central.
Central, yes.
Is getting 16 years.
Oh boy.
For I was like a World of Tanks Discord or something.
It probably was. That's where they tend to go. Yeah. 16
years for Discord shit posting.
My God. See, he's the one who needs a bottle night. God, right upside the head. So Brian, I understand you saw Dune over the weekend. Dune Part 2, I should say.
It fucking ruled. It was so fucking good. But what we got here?
You ever seen a white boy do this?
That's such a great way to preface this. That fucking rules so much. The fucking Fremen on the hoverboard fucking sandworm.
Through the lobby of the AMC. And I mean, his still suit is pretty well tucked there.
It looks. So, the only thing I have ever seen waiting for a movie that can compare to this, Friday night screening of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire out in St. Charles, and there was a young girl that was, I want to say, if she was 5 years old, that'd be on the high end of how old I have to imagine she would be, sitting next to these two other girls, and me and a friend were just kind of like, just bullshitting, like looking around. I mean, like, look at that person, they got weird. You know, that kind of just like,
people watching.
Like, I wonder, you know, like one of those things, I wonder if like their parents dropped them off or something. Just trying to fucking pass the time. And this little girl just straight up projectile vomits, I want to say half a fucking container of popcorn.
Wow.
Right onto the fucking carpet. And the two girls standing next to her just like look at it and go like, ugh, that's gross, and just walk the fuck away. And that little girl is just standing there in front of her fucking vomit.
Right, frozen, probably not sure what to do.
Yeah, and I don't know who these two teenage girls were. And I'm watching like people walk and just step in the vomit, and like it takes about 15 minutes for any real resolution. And I'm like, where's this kid's parents?
Right,
like what the fuck? And
what is happening?
I saw like this couple. They were like on a date. And the young lady was wearing like sandals, low sandals, and a dress that touched the ground. And she dragged the fucking, the hem of the dress through the fucking puke.
Oh. And
realized, I guess, as she was walking through it, like, hey, that's kind of catching. I could feel that on like my legs. And looked at it and just kind of like, and just kept walking. And eventually, like a cop came over and was just like, so what's...
Yeah, what's happening here?
And then the doors open and we went in, but this is the only. If I saw that would be about the same level.
Yeah.
Of just like, wow, what's going on here?
I would be hype as fuck. I'd be like, yes, let's go.
And we'll be talking about this more in the breath mint. But
Lisa Lagib. That's I don't even know if I did. I say that?
Paul Atreides. Wow. Wow. Oh my God.
Shai Hulud.
Wow. Shai Hulud. Wow. Is that Sicilian?
Some very weird space racist theories about space Sicilians.
Space Sicilians. Wow, you ride a worm. That's novel. Wow. What great culture, you people, from destroying the monoculture. My Birthday Gangbang,
folks.
By Ella.
Ella. What a fun story this was.
A quick read with lots of thrills.
It really is. So the basic story was, according to her Twitter account, that's at Aella Girl, AELLA_girl. For my birthday, my partner and some friends organized a huge gangbang for me with 42 attendees. And then, in my favorite move so far, she broke it down in a chart. And it was, here's how the event was organized, exit survey statistics, and so forth. What it was like for me psychologically, which was also an interesting read. But boy, the chart really kills me. She put out a survey. 1,604 people responded. 828 failed the auto filter. Right? 776 passed the auto filter. 328 failed the manual filter. They didn't contact 197, so it left 251. So from there, they rejected 21. 25 of them were already friends. They got to skip the interview and get invited. 83 did an interview, got invited. 143 people didn't respond. You put your name in for a gangbang and you don't respond to an email? God. Sorry.
You'd think like we would learn with Ticketmaster, like don't take your opportunity for granted.
No, yeah, check that email. So 56 of them did pay for a ticket. I believe the ticket was supposed to cover certain costs for the venue and whatnot.
Yeah.
So 56 of them got a ticket. 13 of them canceled. So 43 did STI test, 1 didn't show, so 42 passed STI test, showed up. 5 of them didn't even bang the birthday girl. That's weird enough to begin with. 37.
Maybe the buffet was just so good. This muscatcholi is fan. Oh, I'm so full though.
They got caught up hanging out with their friends, and then by the time they look up, it's over. Oh shit! Were we here for something? We're in a robe. We got dicks out.
We got red sauce all over your cheeks.
Just what? Oh, that was today.
that was. Fuck, man. I just hadn't seen this guy since high school.
Right. That was right now? Well, what do you mean? Do you have another minute? Or
Hold on a second.
So 37 of those people penetrated the birthday girl. 17 came in her. 5 came in a fluffer. 15 didn't come at all, which I find is sus.
I mean, you know what? Sus. I mean, sometimes you're just happy to be there.
That's true. It is a little nerve-wracking doing any kind of public sex stuff, so I get that. And boy, 22 out of 15, it's not a bad average.
The amount of times someone has willfully told me about how they fucked their partner or their date at the fucking zoo.
Yeah, that's a weird one. A lot of kids.
Well, it's usually like a closed thing, like a Christmas party or something like that, like something in the evening.
Well, thank God, yeah, because otherwise that'd be a little weirded out.
I mean, I'm sure there's a couple places. I mean, there's a couple places at the art museum if you really wanted to.
If you had the presence of mind and you took the necessary precautions, I'm sure you could lock a bathroom or there's
got to be a handicap bathroom,
something like that. Or
I'm gonna make someone walk like they got cerebral palsy.
Family bathroom. We're gonna make one in that bathroom.
Yeah.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg is the data, which I always find so fascinating. This chart, by the way, has been making the rounds on LinkedIn, but with all the text changed to be about like doing a startup.
Business.
Yeah. But the prankster who did it just left came in a fluffer on there. And so I saw this on LinkedIn. I was like, wait, this chart looks really familiar. And then I saw on the right-hand side came in a fluffer. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, you did it.
And it got around the content filter because they didn't know what that meant. Not only did Ms. Ayala have a really happy birthday, but also they made robes. The robe said, I went to the Ayala B-Day gangbang and all I got was this bathrobe and also to fuck a porn star.
Which is a great gift.
I love it.
Maybe those 5 guys were just like,
I just came for the bathrobe.
No, they showed up. They got the sick bathrobe. And you're like, you know what? Like, I really don't need to take this any further. It's like when I saw, Run the Jewels at the Firebird and didn't stay for the Run the Jewels set because the Killer Mike set was really good, but the LP set was so fucking good. Where I was like, you know what?
I'm good.
I don't need to see this.
Okay.
Despot came out for Tougher, Colder, Killer.
Oh.
So I mean, like, it was like, well, it's not going to get any better than this. I'm just going to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, quit while you're ahead.
Yeah. I have, and you know what? I have no regrets. So maybe if I show up to a gangbang and got an incredibly good piece of swag, it's like, well, it's not going to get any better. Anything past this is going to be disappointment.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
For someone.
So she did have a cadre of fluffers. This photo here, the fluffers in a pre-gangbang huddle. 15 people in some staff, organizer, or fluffer capacity. The only people who got paid to be there were the security guards. It was a substance-free party. We did not provide alcohol, though someone there did pass out Viagra. A lot of people arrived there already on Viagra. One of the attendees also brought stickers to hand out. And it's the I went to Ayala's.
It's the officer.
Yes. And all I got was this crappy sticker. That here it looks like at Glock_40. The entire orgy cost $3,335, with most of the costs going to venue, robes, food, and security guards. Tickets to attend were free, but had optional donations. 81% paid something, 19% attended for free. Those cheapskates. 10 other women attended, 2 to help out while looking hot, coat check, point of contact for the other women, and 8 fluffers. We had way more fluffer interest than anticipated. By the end, we were turning away women trying to get in, which is an absurd position to be in, she says. I think more women than you might think actually do want to participate in gangbang sluttery. They might just not admit it publicly or feel safe enough at most events to inhabit their full sexual expression. Some of the guys were experienced, but one of the guys was a virgin. The event was not kind towards men's penises. Lots of men had trouble getting hard, which is deeply understandable because practically for them the experience was like being a breeder in a cow pen. The way it worked was a few men volunteers held me down on a bed and a line of guys approached. Once a guy was sufficiently hard, he'd come bang me, summoned by organizers yelling, "Anyone got a hard cock? Line yourselves up by hardness." They had to jack themselves off, and then they got 3 minutes to attempt to come while banging me, while I was closely surrounded by other men who were preventing me from biting or kicking anyone for kink reasons. This is never explained later in the piece. This is the only reference to this we have. In an exit survey, we asked which fluffers people engaged with. It looks like Fluffer B took home the prize. Hand stuff, mouth stuff, vaginal, and just under 10 people said, I came with her.
This statistical data just really drives it home.
It really is fun with data. It's like, I fucking love science. Like, yes, actually, for this type of thing, I do. Yeah, one of them who brought the stickers was a virgin. We asked if he could celebrate his first time. He said, yes, the wackier, the better. So we had him go first. He literally said Leroy Jenkins as he entered and popped confetti over him when finished, and I signed a personalized gift for him. He was also wearing a heart rate monitor and shared the data with me. Yeah, once a man had sex with me who drew a tally mark on my leg with a Sharpie, signed the guest book. It turns out Lou ruins Sharpies. So yeah, they got a sticker, blue for banging, gold if they came, which allowed them access to a third room where they could continue banging and coming in fluffers if they wanted, and if the fluffers were down. Men who weren't participating got to hang out in a main space or in a hot tub where at least some networking occurred. I heard one man say, I didn't expect to meet another YC founder here. We also had food and a small array of board games, although I don't think any of the board games actually got used. Wonderful if you if you're interested in the experience. Oh, it's such a fun, sexy story. I love sexy stuff.
Isn't life interesting?
It really is.
There we go.
There we go.
Local man beats homosexual allegations by grinding on a metal pole freestyle in his tank top and denim cutoffs.
This originally at truck driver pleb. Man climbs up railing to avoid using woke. I forget where this is. I want to say it's Seattle, but I'm not 100%.
It's like Seattle or like Montreal or something.
Okay. Yeah, he's really going for it. Spreading that bussy on the,
absolutely
on the rails.
Freestyle. I think my favorite tweet referencing this was, that's right, back up that twink ass for daddy up those stairs.
It's a set of stairs set up to look like a pride flag. And this guy, rather than walking on the woke stairs, decides to bust it down sexual style.
Just straddling the stairs and primarily using the motion of his hips to go up the banister.
Yeah, definitely not beating the...
and straddling it very hard when he got to the landing in the middle.
Yeah, where he has to go full horizontal, yeah.
Yeah, it's just... fellas, it's okay to walk upstairs. The funny thing too is I bet this guy here putting his man pussy on this banister that gay people have to touch now.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Those are just words that came out of my mouth. Anyways,
it's fine.
This guy's also probably got some really bad takes on the whole like Sydney Sweeney discourse right now going on the internet.
We don't have boobs anymore because of wokeness, but look at this chick. Look at them can't. Who fucking cares?
I thought the argument was that if you found Sydney Sweeney attractive, that you were some kind of like gay African-minded curmudgeon.
No, I thought
all the discourse I read is basically that like she's like over sexualized and in a way that implies like a lower intelligence.
That you're like a degenerate and all that stuff. Okay.
Well, fucking, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say like
she's an attractive blonde with a big rack. What do you want out of life? Come on. I don't get it, honestly.
I don't get like it's the same thing too with like the Billie Eilish stuff. Like, there's that photo that went viral a couple years ago of her, like, in the tank top. She's not really wearing any makeup. And, like, wow, you know, like, really, like, this really negative energy. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, you know, when I was, like, 19, if someone, like, that looked like that talked to me at, like, a party or a show, I would have thought I won the goddamn fucking lottery.
I'd be staring at the ground mumbling. I wouldn't know what to do.
What great life you must have or purport that you have.
Right. No, because the discourse I heard on the Sydney Sweeney side was that she's a perfect Aryan princess, and that she's the antidote to all these woke people. So it was like
I've the exact opposite. That like you have like a simple African mind if you are because of her exaggerated
physique. Yeah. Interesting. That's very interesting.
I don't know what fucking Twitter you've been using this.
I guess she's like Schrodinger's bimbo.
Yeah, but she's not like. Well, she's not a bimbo.
I know, and that's
done like a
really
lot of fucking cool shit.
Bad choice of words. I understand that. I know. Not seeing Euphoria, I know that people really enjoy it.
She's one of the better parts of it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
I can't say I've honestly seen anything she's in, and you know, Madam Web. Okay.
I don't think anyone's gonna see.
No, and that was the joke she made on Saturday Night Live. Is that you may have seen me in this and this, but you sure haven't seen me in Madam Web. And like, because nobody saw that movie.
Very conventionally attractive woman.
Yeah.
And it seems really weird that like the whole is it gay to like hot broads thing is so fucking weird.
Yes, it is. It is very. It's so gay that it comes back around to being straight. It's that gay. It gets just, like off the chart.
It's just like how we find value in things aesthetically, emotionally is so physically is so fucking weird these days.
It's like, doubly weird because it's just like she's an attractive woman. What do you mean? Like there's something wrong with me if I find her attractive, or me finding her attractive means I'm Nazi adjacent? Like wait, how about just she's an attractive woman? That's it. It's not a greater statement for all of mankind. It's dizzying because, we each saw two sides of a very different argument about the same person and the same TV appearance. What the fuck? This is literally how atomized we're getting.
It's fucking... I don't know. I think she's a good actress, and She happens to be very attractive. Great. It's just so like
it's very weird.
It's just like, can't we just like notice and move on? Like,
yeah, do we have to be weird about it?
Some people need to jack off more, and some people considerably
way less. Yeah, for sure.
Or some people just, I don't know, need to stick their head in the ground or fucking
go offline. For a while.
I say, pull your bottom lip over your head and swallow.
Yeah, that's
make the world a better place.
That's a Walter Matthau. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's Walter Matthau. That's how my grandfather talked.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna bust your britches.
Because I remember Walter Matthau saying that line in Grumpy Old Men. That's why it was like...
Yeah, no, Grumpy Old Men was my grandpa and all the other old white dudes in the neighborhood.
Oh, very, very much the same. A lot of these guys who were like born and raised in Ferguson, and they're just cantankerous old dudes
wearing a fucking like Valvoline trucker cap.
Oh.
Anyways, so...
I think the horniness is going to be over for a little bit. We'll come back. There'll be more, but we'll...
we're in a reactive mode.
Yeah, we're going to take a bit of a horny pause and go into the least sexy thing we're going to talk about today. That's right, folks. Crypto Scam the Week.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
Brian, are you familiar with Lena Network?
I've heard of it once or twice. That's really about it.
Well, apparently they had a new token launch recently called Candy. This here, the Cointelegraph. Zoltan Vardai. Let me just stop right for a second. Zoltan? Fuck yes. That's an amazing name. Wasn't that the machine that Tom Hanks's character wished that he was big in the movie Big? Was it like Zoltan?
I can't remember. I never seen Big.
Zoltar. It was Zoltar. Excuse me.
I've never seen Big.
It's fantastic. Penny Marshall's a good 80s classic. So yes, Zoltan writing here. Recently launched liquidity protocol Lena Network's Candy token fell over 87% after the protocol suffered a rug pull of 753 Ether, worth $2.9 million at publication time, which was 10 hours ago.
Yeah. Ethereum's still around 3,800. So, yeah.
So, yes, it says on-chain data showed that the Lena Network deployer address had transferred 753 Ether to an address associated with the OKX exchange March 6th at 2:30 in the a.m. The rug pull occurred a few hours before Lena Network announced that it had officially renounced the ownership of the token contract. Okay. We have officially, this here, Lena IFO launching on Twitter. Important announcement. We've been taking a significant step forward in ensuring our project's trust and decentralization. We've officially renounced ownership of our token contract. This move is all about fostering a safer and more community-driven environment, making things right the way it should be. Doesn't that strike you as odd? Renouncing because to me that sounds like
that means you can't. No one has authority to make modifications to the contract. So if there's like a loophole or something like that, it's very hard to fix an exploit.
Huh?
Yeah.
It seems like a really weird move, and I guess maybe they're doing that because they already are aware of this exploit or this rug pull that's happening. I don't know. They raised 850 ETH for the initial farm offering, which is different from an initial coin offering, I know. Ended March 3rd. The Candy token went live March 6th before going into the toilet. I think that we had a graph up here somewhere. There it is. There's your all-time chart. 8 o'clock this morning, and then shoot.
Like straight fucking down. Just
within, 15 minutes tops. I mean, it's an hour there. So, that's like 5-10 minutes. That's very bad.
Within about 60 minutes of it launching, it pumped about 20%.
Right.
Then just immediately nosedived.
And there was a little bit of a dead cat bounce. And then it went back down. And then it's been doing that little worm down to the bottom here.
We got to understand, that's a really healthy chart. That's very bullish. That's a consolidation period. And the longer it coils, man, the bigger that blow up is going to be.
I see.
You really see when you're looking for charts, you got to look for that potential. You see a rug token with no value.
Yeah.
I see a fucking juicy 5x waiting to happen.
This is not financial advice, by the way.
No, but this is how people talk.
oh yeah, man, we're gonna buy the dip, all that fun stuff. Well, if you're buying the dip, you can probably keep on buying because I don't think still going.
I mean, dude, there's people that still fucking trade Luna and FTX. Like it's
that is bad. That part's
FTT.
baffling.
Yeah, it's fucking wild to see that shit pop up on Twitter.
Like they're in court. They're in court about this being full of shit, and you're like, yeah, I'm buying the dip. For what reason? I know it's probably all just a mind game and they're, sunk cost or whatever, and they're just like working through it or something, but it's still the grasp that some of this shit has on people is just distressing, I think is the word I was looking for. You can't be saved. There's no reaching you. You've gone beyond the beyond. You've hit a point where the delusion is stronger than reality. Make no mistake, I am also thinking that it's an election year. So, those things kind of have a common theme.
Sure. All right. You ready to talk about today's main topic?
Oh, my God, am I ever. We're going to talk to you today about a massive hoax perpetrated on the internet. A hoax so big that the FBI got involved. Yes, those guys. It's called Bonsai Kitten, Brian. The website was created in the year 2000. October 30th in particular. And it purported to be a gentleman from MIT who went by the name of Dr. Michael Wong Chang.
Relative of We Too Low.
Yeah. And cousin of Holy Fuck. Yeah.
And Something Wong.
Something Wong. Bang Ding Ow. The website, here it is in all of its 2000 era glory.
Dedicated to preserving the long-lost art of body modification in house pets.
That's right. The introductory page is this. At only a few weeks of age, a kitten's bones have not yet hardened and become osseous. They're extremely soft and springy. In fact, if you take a week-old kitten and throw it to the floor, it will actually bounce. We do not recommend that you try this at home. The kitten may bounce under the furniture and be difficult to retrieve, as well as covered in unsightly household dust. However, the flexibility of the kitten's skeleton means that if the bones were gently warped at this very early age, they can be molded into any desired shape. At Bonsai Kitten, we achieved this by placing the kitten into a rigid vessel soon after birth and allowing the young cat to grow out its formative time entirely within this container. The kitten essentially grows into the shape of the vessel. Once the cat is fully developed, it is removed, or the vessel broke to remove it, providing the lovable furry pet you've always wanted, but it remains in the shape you've always dreamed of. There is virtually no limit to the eventual shape of your pet. Now, if that opening paragraph didn't clue you in that this is full of shit, this is not a thing that you can do, folks. I know a lot of you aren't veterinarians, but that's not a thing. It gets weirder, though. Brian, you want to take this one?
Practical considerations. At Bonsai Kitten, we're happy to take care of all the little details and simply deliver you a fully shaped kitten according to your specifications. However, for those who have applied for and received the appropriate bonsai kitty culture permits from the U.S. government, we are happy to provide details of the procedure to those who want to start from scratch.
Oh!
There are three main requirements that must be considered when making a bonsai kitten. Requirement 1, air. This ought to go without saying, but you'd be surprised how many amateurs forget the detail and wind up with a cold, hard kitty in the morning. If the containment vessel is sealed, you must drill air holes prior to kitten insertion. A diamond drill is recommended for glass vessels. Consideration 2, food and water. Especially if the kitten's head is being shaped, one of the most versatile applications of the Bonsai Kitten, it will not be able to eat or drink normally. The most common solution is another hole in the container with a feeding tube to the kitten's mouth where a liquid food slurry can provide both nutrient and hydration requirements. Consideration number 3, waste removal. Left to its own devices, the kitten would quickly fill its vessel with its own urine and feces, leading to a certain sickness and death, not to mention the inevitably unpleasant appearance and odor. The best solution is to seal the kitten's anus with super glue prior to insertion. and then insert a water tube, or waste tube, I should say, through a third hole in the vessel. As the kitten's body is still developing, a natural rectal diverticulum will soon form around the tube. I guess that's a good enough way to say that word. I don't know.
Diverticulum?
Diverticulum? Diverticulum. That will soon form around the tube, which can be drained in any convenient fashion. It's just like a kitty colostomy bag.
So they joke about that there's a license that you have to get from the U.S. government to grow your own bonsai kitten. Here's the following. If you have your license to grow your own, don't hesitate to contact us for assistance. Our staff are always ready to help. You should not attempt these procedures without proper training and licenses. Bonsai Cat will not be held responsible for the results of any attempts to apply any procedures described on this website. And that's just the intro, Brian. What's fucked up to me is that someone saw this and said, yeah, this is real. Yeah, this is real. The gallery. Yeah, here it is. Please look at the following pages to see some of our works in progress. Here's a black and white kitten in rectilinear glass, freshly inserted. It's literally just someone's cat crawled into a glass container, but then they're acting like, oh yeah, after insertion, feeding tube not yet inserted, ventilation. They're pretending as though this is real. Rear aspect showing initial swelling reaction from the super glue. Despite it being completely absurd, despite it being absolutely the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, people took it seriously. I think the reaction to it is far more absurd than the site itself. They do have a sales page where it says, we don't have a catalog of pre-manufactured kittens. Every bonsai kitten is original. The closest to providing off-the-rack kitties is to provide example vessel shapes for those wanting ideas of what to request. And so they say, we're proud to offer a variety of containment options and paraphernalia for the home enthusiast. Containment variations include rectilinear vessels, urns, and curved forms, tubular constrictions, antagonistic animal shapes, and a space frame or wire frame, and also including shoehorns, glass
drills,
calcium sequestering agents, muscle relaxants, and super glue. Yeah. The Bonsai Kitten supply depot links at the bottom there do have a list of the vessels. The glass cylinder, familiar to anyone who has watched One Guy, One Jar recently.
Yeah.
So obviously taking the piss went a bit too far because people went nuts. People just completely lost their fucking minds about this thing. The Chronicle of Higher Education Information Technology, Wednesday, February 21st, 2001. Pretty soon we'll forget about Bonsai Kitten. Created at MIT, a Bonsai Kitten website stirs animal lovers' passions. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in New York has determined that a website showing kittens being stuffed into glass containers is only a joke, but the only people who seem to be laughing are the Massachusetts Institute of Technology students who created it. The site, which has been online since December, allegedly portrays a kitten being grown in a small rectilinear glass container after being injected with valium. Not true. I think they said something like muscle relaxants. Funny or not, she continues, the site has been investigated at least twice and has prompted hundreds of people to write to MIT asking that the site be shut down and its creators be expelled. Jeffrey Swope, a lawyer in a firm that represents MIT, would not comment on the site or release the names of the students, nor would the site's webmaster respond to an email request for those names. Yeah, they've been repeatedly subpoenaed by the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Here it is. MIT's network manager, Jeffrey Schiller, said that a student's on-campus computer was initially the server for the site, and that at the time, lawyers for the institution found nothing illegal about the site. It's a joke, a sick joke, Mr. Schiller said, adding that the kittens depicted on the site are not actually shoved into glass jars. He said a student who created the site told him that the kittens, quote, can walk into the jar and walk out. The jar is bigger than the kitten. It's an illusion. And you'd think this would be the end of it. But oh no! Ground Zero, Joe Salowski. This was actually 2 days prior. Tribune Media Services. Have you ever wanted a cat, but worried that they're too damn cuddly? They sure are graceful, and their little round faces are cute as the dickens, but wouldn't they be even more appealing if they were shaped like a cube, such as the twisted dream behind Bonsai Kitten? It's a joke, of course, he continues, a straight-faced spoof designed to prey on gullible cat lovers, but there are plenty of people who aren't laughing, including a few wayward agents from the FBI. So yes, the site's principal creators, a pair of grad students at MIT, say they've been targeted by a grand jury subpoena demanding information about BonsaiKitten.com on behalf of the FBI. I can't imagine what crime they might be investigating, but it must be more important than tracking down all those international terrorists and child pornographers the agency is supposed to be prosecuting. Now, an important thing to think about, this is February of 2001.
So do you think the FBI was too distracted
That is
by Bonsai Kitten to prevent 9/11?
Yes! That is my prevailing theory after reading all this, is that they were too busy shaking down some MIT students.
Folks,
If this doesn't guarantee us a spot on QAnon Anonymous, nothing will. That is my firm belief right now, is that the FBI was distracted by Bonsai Kitten.
you're really baking this here.
I am baking in real time as we go. I'm having a moment here. Massachusetts Society for the Protection of Animals, MSCPA, even went so far as to say to internet service providers, don't carry the site, pull it off the web. They're quoted here as the rising number, it's among the rising number of websites that promote, glamorize, or trivialize cruelty to animals. The good Dr. Michael Wong Chang is quoted in this piece. Of course, it is a pseudonym, but I originally expected far more people to understand the satire immediately. From our incoming email, it seems fewer than 1% of respondents understand. So the fact that it's so staggering that this got such a big reaction. It's a shitty website, number one. It looks like shit. It looks like somebody coded it by hand, which was probably the case, 2001. It's fairly well written. That's fine. It has a 212 number. Now I'm dying to know if this number is still in service. There is a phone number on this website. The one thing I did not do today is try to call it. Brian, are you going to try to call it here?
I'm gonna Google it first.
Okay.
And see if it's like, oh, this is used by like a fucking carpet cleaning business. I don't know if we really need to harass them.
What have you discovered?
There is a Better Business Bureau entry for the Bonsai Kitten.
Yeah, what does the BBB have to say about Bonsai Kitten?
There's 0 entries here. It just says this business is not BBB accredited.
Okay.
It's got NR, which I guess means no reviews.
Not rated. Mm-hmm.
Or not rated. The contact information does go to a P.O. box in New York State.
Okay. So 212, that's a New York phone number, yeah.
Yeah. So here's some entries from Slashdot.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Used to be a bastion of this sort of news. All right.
I don't really know what this post has to say, but the comments are really interesting. BSOD bitch wrote on February 9th, 2001, relatively same time frame we're speaking here. I recently learned the art of Bonsai Kitten taught to me by my grandfather, Tai Mai Chu.
No.
The method has allowed me to develop many of my own. My primary method is what I call the Spider Kitten. In this method, the kitten's feet are tied with 4 nylon strings. The end of each string is stretched to a point in which 4 small 5-foot-high posts reside. There are 4 posts total for each leg. The kitten's paws are tied to each of these posts for a period of 3 weeks. However, you must tighten the strings a little each day to avoid the legs from growing above the kitten's heads. Proper feeding is required. After a 3-week period is up, the kitten is set free. We have successfully grown kittens with legs up to 40 inches per leg. The cat can almost now stand face to face with its master. It is a very painless process for the kitten. and I hope these cats will be adored and loved in your home. Warning, these kittens are not recommended to people with large quantities of furniture. This is due to the fact that these kittens have an unusual way of marking their territory with their claws. We also recommend that you keep these kittens on a leash, for they tend to run very fast and they are hard to catch.
Commenters on Slashdot getting into it and expanding the lore, if you will. Not to go all Matt Pat on you, but the lore.
So I guess this thing is that the FBI had something called Carnivore, and they changed it to DCS 1000.
Okay.
Grag, Grarg, posted February 9th, 2001. Alas, Scott Adams has already copyrighted the Gruntmaster 6000, so this was obviously their fallback. By the way, doesn't DCS bear scary oral resemble to DECSS? I don't know what that means.
DECSS, I believe, was the decryption algorithm for DVDs. So you could rip a DVD if you could break DECSS. So Snopes, always the bulwark of these sort of things, of course, rates it false. Here is a few of the chain letters connected to this. To anyone with love and respect for life, in New York, there is a Japanese who sells Bonsai Kittens. First of all, there is a Japanese.
Wow.
In New York? Just the one?
One Japanese.
Sounds like fun, huh? Not. Okay, you know it's 2001 humor when you do the all caps.
Which
not.
makes it then sound like it's fun to do it.
Yeah.
Put a cat into a bottle is fun. Not.
These animals are squeezed into a bottle. Their urine and feces are removed through probes. What? They feed them with a kind of tube. They feed them chemicals to keep their bones soft so the kittens grow into the shape of the bottle. These animals will stay there, THEIR, as long as they live. They can't walk or move or wash themselves. Bonsai kittens are becoming a fashion in New York and Asia. What? Please sign this email in protest against these tortures. If you receive an email with over 500 names, please send a copy to anacheka@hotmail.com. That's also how you know it's 2001, Hotmail email addresses. From there, this protest will be sent to U.S. and Mexican animal protection organizations. Okay.
All right.
A chain email to sign a petition to take a fake website off the internet.
Everyone who loves animals.
All caps, yeah.
A site that we were able to shut down last year has returned. We have tried to shut it down again. A Japanese man in New York breeds and sells kittens that are called bonsai cats. This would sound cute if it weren't kittens that were put into little bottles after being given a muscle relaxant and then locked up for the rest of their lives. The cats are fed through a straw and have a small tube for their feces. The skeleton of the cat will take the form of the bottle. As the kitten grows, the cat never gets the opportunity to move. Their use is original and exclusive souvenirs. They're the latest trends in New York, China, Indonesia, and New Zealand. If you think you can handle it, visit https://www.bonsaikitten.com and have a look at the methods being used to put these little kittens into bottles. The petition needs 500 names, so please put your name on it. Copy the text into a new email and put your name on the bottom, then send it to everyone you know. If you notice there are 500 names on the list, please send it to analchakra@hotmail.com.
That's far better than what they actually have there, anal chakra. Yes, Snopes, of course, immediately said, Bonsai kittens are not real. Nobody's making them. Nobody's selling equipment to help make them. Nobody is instructing people on, quote, the lost Eastern art of stealing kittens inside rectilinear jars.
Jeez. I wonder how many people that were part of these chain emails would be highly suspicious of taking a Coca-Cola from a Chinese man.
Yeah, because they were very quick to point out that he's Japanese. The pseudonymous owner of the site, which they don't know for sure. Nobody actually knows who this pseudonymous person is. Snopes does go in on this, and I really appreciate their dedication to this, because they go and say, here's how would you have known the Bonsai Kittens site was a satire despite its lack of "this is a joke" banners emblazoned across it. Satire doesn't always announce itself as such. Some feel that would ruin its humor. Thank you, Snopes. So in cases like this, one dusts off the common sense that aims it at the problem. The process described is impossible. Animals so treated would die long before they could be molded. The website offers no way to purchase the materials advertised. A real commercial enterprise wouldn't build consumer interest and then fail to offer anything for sale. The Bonsai Kittens site displays no actual pictures of the finished product. The Cruel.com website offers an article entitled Happiness is a Rectilinear Kitten, a comprehensive history of the furor about this. Now, Lord knows if I can still, it's still not around. It never got snapshotted, unfortunately. But, I'm sorry. You can't tell that this was full of shit the minute you looked at it?
I immediately, when I first saw this when I was a teenager, realized, like, oh, this is fake. But, like, after about 5 or 10 minutes, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a bit.
January 26, 2001. We're going backwards. I should have presented these in order. That was my mistake. The Register. Bonsai Kitten craze sweeps online world. Andrew Smith. After being included as a novelty link of the day on Blues News, I think this is where all this furor really started there. BonsaiKitten.com was soon provoking an inevitable barrage of complaints. Someone hit an all-time low with the kitten page, one reader vented. That's fucking disgusting. Sick fucks like that give the human race a bad name, said another.
The Bonsai Kitten link is really poor taste. I have even more shame at being a member of this species now for having seen it.
Blues News soon removed the link. The site administrator explained, although personally I didn't find it offensive, and yes, I do have a cat, obviously there are some of you that do, and I'd rather not offend our readers. It is a joke, they say, a convincing joke. And
Rotten.com apparently.
Yep. The new host, so they got kicked off of various places that they were hosted. And so Rotten.com picked up the site and is hosting it. And then, of course, this person at the Register then has to give a description of Rotten.com. The new host, Rotten.com, which routinely carries materials such as photos of autopsies and car accidents. And I'm like, that's not even scratching the surface. See our previous episode on the subject. Has given Bonsai Kitten a permanent home, quoting a message from the U.S. Humane Society to ease worried minds. Quote, when this site initially appeared in December, a local humane organization did get involved on a local level in checking out this person, but discovered no evidence of actual animal abuse having occurred. So, of course, the Register fact-checked that quote. The Humane Society isn't quite as positive about the site as may appear. The Society's full announcement says that Bonsai Kitten depicts and encourages cat cruelty, which it does not. It doesn't. A cat gets in a jar and, like the previous article said, can get right out. They also go into some weird divergence here. And if you really want to delve into the net seedier side, it said there are sites dedicated to one of the more bizarre sexual fetishes known as crush or stomp. These sites carry pictures and videos of women usually barefoot and wearing stilettos or combat boots doing some decidedly unpleasant things to insects and rodents. Not really sure.
You've never seen a crush video.
I have seen a crush video, and unfortunately I have seen a crush video of a cat. That fucked with me.
I've only ever seen a man's nutsack get absolutely obliterated by some red stilettos.
Yeah, I mean, I've
style project, but I'm sorry you got to see some animal abuse.
Yeah, animal abuse was unfortunately very rampant in the style project forums.
Animal abuse was pretty rampant on the internet until like recently. Yeah. Until there was like it was just like easier to go like on like Twitter and see a video of like a shoplifter get hit by a Buick or something.
Yeah, thankfully we're kind of getting past that part of the internet because that's always like, I can handle whatever you do to a person because that's a person. I feel like
Anthony Soprano.
Well, it's kind of why I identify with him as a character. It's like do whatever to a person, but like animals, they don't understand what's going on. Anyway, sorry, it's very weird that they're like, oh yeah, and also crush videos, and then they end the article. It's like, what the fuck? Why did you have to bring that up? What is going on here? Think Geek, not to be left out, did have a Christmas ornament and a plush toy featuring a stuffed cat in a bottle that they would sell. For a while, it says URL bonsaikittens.com, even redirected to the Think Geek site that would sell the stuffed cat in a bottle.
Did we ever find out who was behind the website?
I still don't have a definitive answer.
Other than it was probably people at MIT.
Yeah, that's about all we have.
What a strange piece of the internet.
What a stupid joke to then have such a huge repercussion. Like, fuck, the Humane Society and the FBI are like, this was just a stupid thing that we made up for the web. Like, people took everything on the web so much more seriously. Every time, if I would see something like this, and this was like, if I didn't know about Bonsai Cat, if I saw this today, I'd be like, yeah, that's bullshit. So maybe we have come a little bit further in terms of being more skeptical of things we see. Although, if you started talking to people about Bonsai Kitten on maybe like Facebook,
I was going to say, what if I told you that the Bill Gates Foundation, in Africa, were strip mining resources so they could make bonsai kittens to teach DEI to your children.
That's right. Yes, they're gonna have gay weed abortions. With
it's the central thesis of Fall of the Cabal Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Sure.
Anytime that's a Part 2, I just append Electric Boogaloo on there because
Dune 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yes, absolutely.
O.J. Simpson Trial 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Well, I mean,
Holocaust 2.
Oh no!
Oh no! Is there going to be a Holocaust?
Is there going to be? I don't know. Kind of feels like there's one going on.
There's one going on right now.
Yeah. Anyway.
See also chain letter I'm looking at the Wikipedia here.
Oh yeah. See, Comprachicos, I think.
Foot binding.
Yeah. But yeah, foot binding, we know that that's an ancient Chinese practice. Lotus feet, all that stuff. Impossible bottles. That's where an object is in a bottle and it's like, oh, it couldn't fit through. So the bottle's been manipulated in some way. And then the square watermelon, that is a thing that you can do with watermelons, is that you can put them in
usually buy them in Asia because they're like, watermelon's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And a square watermelon is like really nice, like housewarming gift or something.
Yeah. It's not the kind that you would like hit with a bat and break as a summer thing. This is more like you bring it as a nice thing for someone's housewarming.
Man, I think this summer I'll get like a nice fucking watermelon.
Hell yeah!
Go to town. That mother little salt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've grilled them before.
I've never done that.
Yeah, you put them on the grill for about like 5 minutes aside.
What caramelizes the sugar?
Caramelizes the sugar. That's exactly right. Creates that little crust on the outside.
Oh man, maybe
pineapple does the same. As if you just
I've had grilled pineapple before,
yeah. Peach, I've done peaches with the little butter, little brown sugar in there.
Ooh.
Apples the same. I've done apples the same way. Core it and put a little.
Fucking look at you, Mister. All you want to do is grill.
I'm telling you, man.
Grilled pilled ass.
I am telling you. The weather was so nice this past week. I made ribs. I sent you a picture of ribs.
A picture of the ribs. I'm like, cool, sick.
I'm sorry, man.
Ribs.
I had to show somebody. And oh my God, I posted it on the internet and nobody responded to him. Like, well, all right. Well, he's going to appreciate this.
Oh, you should have added Ed.
You know what? I probably should have added Ed. You're right. He would definitely appreciate it.
He would have been like, that's a very nice bit of grilling you got there.
But yeah, it's just been perfect weather. And so I've been doing grilling. I got grilling on the brain, man. I can't wait.
Left or right? I just want to grill.
Exactly. For God's sake. Well, I want to start talking about bonsai kittens because I don't know. It just feels like a whole lot of nothing.
Gosh, I kind of wish people were still getting up in arms about bonsai kittens instead of like trans kids or.
It's the woke stares. You know what? Talk about animal cruelty.
I can't look at fat tits anymore because of woke.
Yeah, you've ruined my ability to enjoy a nice set of jugs. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Look at him. Who cares? She can't see you. Sorry. That's fucking weird. A weird thing to say.
They can't judge you. It's printed simulacra on a fibrous paper.
Exactly. Doesn't matter. All right, Brian, you ready to get really weird?
Yeah, are we getting back to the horny part of the show?
We are getting back to the horny part of the show. Unfortunately, it's not a horny thing that I enjoy, but I'm sure someone out there does enjoy it. It's shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
And it's time for Two Guys, One Hole, which was the original title of the show, by the way. Best Shockers used to host this bad boy. Best Shockers went out of business a couple years back, sadly. So everything has to live on via the web archive, of which we thank the folks at the Internet Archive for doing that, courtesy of the Wayback Machine. Now, unfortunately, this ruins the surprise because in the description of the video, you do see it says Two Guys, One Hole involves some gay anal fisting with a yodeling theme. Thankfully, it is very blurry.
What you got in there? Get that out of your mouth. God damn it, he's got the remote.
Yeah, a pitched up version of Ring of Fire. Johnny Cash
just
playing as
you're trying to find something between the pillow, the cushions of the couch.
He's digging tunnels.
Where'd my wallet go?
The guy's
up to the elbow.
Yeah, he's not taking it lightly on this guy's hole.
He's looking for something.
And he has the Rob Halford Judas Priest hat on. I know that's not actually where it originates from, but every time I see that hat, all I can think of is, you got another thing coming. Like, I know it has its origins in the fetish scene, but every time I see that hat, I see Rob Halford. And I keep thinking, like, I got to have Breaking the Law in the background. Breaking the Law.
One time I was at Best Buy with my father.
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out, I had money to buy a CD.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably like 16 or so, 15 or 16. And I couldn't figure out if I wanted to buy British Steel or Joe's Garage by Frank Zappa.
For sheer amount of record, I'm going Joe's Garage.
Well, I went with Judas Priest, and my dad was so disappointed in me.
Oh no!
And I think British Steel's a great record.
Oh, it's a great record, no question.
There's just so many. I mean, Living After Midnight, Grinder. I mean, there's just so many great little songs on there. And Joe's Garage. I mean, Joe's Garage does have Catholic girls.
Catholic girls. It's got Fembot in a wet T-shirt.
Why is it Burn YP?
Why is it Burn YP? Lucille has messed my mind up, and this is all side one. Let's see. Dong Work for Yuda featuring the Smothers Brothers.
It's a classic record. Yeah, I listened to Joe's Garage over Christmas break, and I was like, "Fuck, man, this is kind of amazing." Just the take these kind of really ridiculous lyrics and just put fucking jams to it. Like,
fucking Ike Willis singing his ass off.
Like, Catholic Girls is an absolutely fucking absurd song. Has one of the best fucking breakdowns. And
that one. Yeah, because they're doing a reprise of the Joe's Garage theme.
I didn't realize. Yeah,
it's kind of
going back to that motif.
Yeah, they cycle back to that, especially in the later stuff where they're doing like. Give me that cyborg. Don't get no jism on that sofa. He's singing in German to a sex robot. Don't come on my sofa. When you start with, here's a garage band, and the end of the album is he's jacking off with a robot. Like,
we could play in Joe's Garage.
That's right. His mama was screaming, "Turn it down." Great record. Anyway. Yeah, British Steel, still a good record, though.
Still great,
A lot shorter. A lot shorter.
I had my music theory teacher in high school. He went to SEMO.
Okay.
Which, for those of y'all who don't know, is one of, I think, 3 party colleges.
Yeah, we've got a few.
We got, like, SEMO, Kirksville, and Mizzou are all, like, party colleges. Every single time I meet someone that's a graduate of SEMO, I'm always, like, really fucking amazed. And one of them is the vice president of the company I work for. When he told me he graduated for SEMO, I go, how the fuck that happened?
Right.
I just know so many people, regardless if they're like smart or studious, fail the fuck out of SEMO just because it's just like
party.
Yeah, did you not like go to parties? And like, I went to a fucking party, and I'm like, okay,
Not enough.
But I'm just like, I respect it.
Yeah. I mean, I know a few guys who graduated from SEMO, and not for lack of trying.
But he graduated from SEMO, and he told us on Saturday nights when there was nothing better to do that him and his roommates would have a Joe's Garage night. It was implied that it just meant getting really fucking trash and listening to Joe's Garage.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Which sounds actually kind of tight. Because
Yeah.
there really ain't much to do in Cape Girardeau besides get trashed. And before we move on to the next bit, just another Cape Girardeau fun fact is second to last time I stopped in Cape Girardeau, we got something to eat en route to New Orleans. Because that's kind of one of the natural stopping points. Yeah. It's like Cape Girardeau. And then like Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, it's on the way. Yeah, for sure.
We stopped to get something right off the highway. And there's two main exits off of the highway that they're like Cape Girardeau exits. And there was what looked to be like a Chinese buffet that had closed. And in the parking lot was a guy selling T-shirts, and they were all like "Jail for Hillary" and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it was the first time I ever saw QAnon out in the wild, outside the internet, and so that would have been like 2018.
I was gonna say, yeah,
and that was also the time I was working in Panera's corporate office. That was like a month or two before there was an email spread around the wider team that I was a part of about how the customer service were getting phone calls and emails from weird conspiracy theorists because of Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson was a part of the pedophile cabal that set like the campfire fires in 2018.
Oh boy.
What a weird fucking time. And like I just responded like, oh yeah, I've heard of QAnon, that's fucking weird, and like never got I imagine that almost got forwarded probably someone in HR. This guy knows what QAnon is. But like, yeah, I was a terminally online weirdo.
Yeah, 2017 is when QAnon started, right? Because that was
2017 was when it first bubbled up.
Yeah,
but it didn't really start penetrating people's fucking skulls and started being out in the world until like mid 2018.
Okay,
I want to say somewhere between like March and June of 2018 was probably when I first really heard about it, and it was just like really being laughed off as like this weird word salad thing, like because it sounded like all these fucking QAnon drops. They all sound like the fucking spam messages you would get like on a WordPress site about like, you know, hot teens with restless legs syndrome, Aragon 2, leaked script shit. And you're just like, the fuck?
Yeah. Very odd stuff.
But yeah, Cape Girardeau is a fucking weird ass little town.
Yeah, it is. The last time I was in Cape Girardeau, SEMO related, was actually picking up a friend of mine named Joe, and we were going to Chicago to an anime convention.
So you drove all the way to Cape Girardeau.
All the way to Cape Girardeau, and then all the way back to then go to Chicago. Yes, he had no car. I was his ride. I drove there, and then I drove to Chicago. At that anime convention, I met and talked to briefly the voice of Asuka in the English dub for Evangelion. That was Tiffany Grant, a nice lady who signed some stuff for me. It was really cool.
Oh, that was awesome.
It was right about when End of Evangelion was getting a home release on DVD and stuff. And so I got a few posters and, but yeah, it was a weird, it's like I'm driving all this way to Cape Girardeau and then back and then to Chicago. I barely want to drive that with my family now, like.
Oh, my girlfriend and I are going to like Louisville next month. And like, that's an easy 4-hour drive.
Oh, 5 tops. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's about as much as I want to drive at this moment. Like,
well, in 2 weeks, I'm going to Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach?
I'm going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, that was a favorite spot of my grandparents.
13 hours.
Yeah, driven there.
That's about what it took us to get to Louisiana, so it's fine.
And Myrtle Beach is fine.
Yeah, it's a nice place to go. It's spring break for the kids. We're going to do that.
A lot of swingers there in Myrtle Beach.
So avoid anything that has pineapples on it. I got it. All right.
I mean, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but
it's not our scene. So two guys, one hole, very basic. The joke is...
Can we make sure we all get rooms without the cuck chair?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, thank you.
I want to make sure the mirror, you can't see the bed through the mirror if you're in the closet.
Nowhere. So two guys, one hole, not really much there. It's a guy getting fisted by Rob Halford.
It does what it says on the box.
Yeah, and it's the same thing we always say. The joke is that they're gay.
The joke is that they're gay.
That's it. Anyway. God damn. Oh, yeah. You about ready for the breath mint, Brian?
I'm ready for the breath mint.
Yeah.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
So I know each of us saw a movie that we were very, very excited to see this past week.
Yeah, how was Kung Fu Panda 4? Did he go a skadoosh?
Yes, he did. No, I have not seen.
I would love to see Jack Black
Yeah.
absolutely get backed over by a fucking like street sweeper. And the whole entire time he's just making weird sounds. Wow.
Come on, car!
Let me eat your pussy. Oh.
Yeah.
Jack Black just his death scream is just, let me eat your pussy.
No, I did not see Kung Fu Panda 4, a long-awaited one that I've been waiting for a home video release on.
Faces of Death 16.
No, I've been waiting. I'm going to keep going. A long wait. Jesus Christ, you got me all fucked up.
Yeah, I got you all fucked up. Tell them what movie you saw.
I saw a movie called Poor Things, Brian.
Oh yes, I heard great things about
that. Fucking tastic. Just about everything you want from a movie. Emma Stone, career best. Mark Ruffalo, killing it. You got Willem Dafoe under all that prosthetics. Yorgos Lanthimos. This is the first one of his movies I've seen, but apparently I've been told by many people that his shit is my vibe. And judging just by this one, I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I really wanted to see Poor Things. And I've heard mostly good stuff about it.
For those of you who may not know about the movie, it is essentially a modern day Frankenhooker.
I've also heard that.
Yeah. So a woman kills herself. She's pregnant. And so the mad scientist takes the baby's brain, puts it in the woman's brain. This new creature who he names Bella Baxter is learning about life and everything. And because it is a movie about life and everything, it does actually include sex as a big thing of that. A lot of sex in the movie. The sex scene discourse people are going to have a field day with it, and that's fine. Let them do their thing. I'm going to be over here enjoying probably one of Emma Stone's better performances that I've ever seen, which is quite a few.
Superbad?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of movies with her in it, and I got to say, this one's it's a career best. And I don't say that lightly. This is someone who's seen a lot of her work, and like, yeah, this is pretty much. I don't want to give away too much because you did say you want to see it, but I will say there's just certain moments with Mark Ruffalo kind of playing the pathetic version of your Brando in Streetcar. So instead of, him being like all ripped and passionate and being like, Stella, he's pulling his hair out and he's just, Bella. Like it's very much, there's direct references. It's very funny. There's just all sorts of weird Jean-Paul Jeunet shit in there. Like the way they film certain scenes is like, oh, that's from City of Lost Children, or like that's from, yeah. There's little bits that are like out of Terry Gilliam's Brazil, but it's just background shots. No, not like story-wise, but just like visuals that they kind of play with. Beautiful. The colors are just, it's like a painting. Every background looks like it's a matte painting, but it's not, but it looks like it. And yeah, just everybody in it it's fucking funny. You gotta know, my wife is a very particular movie goer. She's a person for whom movies have to be either very funny or very, very well constructed for her to call them great. And she called this one great. So she's much stricter on a movie than I am. I'm willing to forgive a lot of things because I grew up watching VHS of bullshit, like Extro 2, DEFCON 4, Extro 2, or Killer
American
Clowns.
Ninja.
Thank you, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like, I've watched some shit in my life.
The Stuff.
You know what? The Stuff is actually a good movie, but that's for another time.
But it's
I liked
part
it.
of that era.
It is. That's like on the high end. But this one, she loved it as much as I did. And it's definitely, it's a horny movie, but it's funny. It's like, it's got all all that good stuff. Makes you do the feel-good chemicals in your brain. So that's the highest recommendation that I can give for a movie. So if I had to go back and do our best of again, I'd throw that in there because it did technically come out last year.
Okay. Well, that sounds great.
Now, you saw a movie you wanted to see.
Yeah, I did some shit I was selfish as fuck.
Hell yeah, brother.
I knew my girlfriend didn't want to go see it. I offered you, but your
Son's
son was with is his right.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I was one of those things like, okay, too many variables here.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get good seats. And I'm like, I'm just going to fucking do it.
Yeah, man.
So I was like, fuck, I'm just going to see Dune by myself, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
And I had this great idea of like, you know what? Like, maybe I'll take an edible.
Oh.
And I'm just going to fucking get lost in the spice.
Hell yeah.
But then my girlfriend got offered a 24-hour shift, like a 2-hour drive away with mileage and a $5 an hour differential. And I was just like, yeah, go make that money.
Yeah,
I had to go I had to make sure I had time to go take care of her dog and all that. And that's fine. But I still had a great fucking time. It was a beautiful day. It was a little chilly when I went to the theater at 10:30. By the time I was walking out, which I want to say was like 1, it was a very beautiful day Sunday. It was like a high of like 76.
10:30 in the a.m.
10:30 in the a.m.
Okay.
Over there at Ronnie's. I think it's the only place that's showing IMAX.
Yeah,
I did not see an IMAX screening. If you want to go see it,
yeah, I would be interested for sure.
I'd be down to go see an IMAX screening. It's not the 15, 20, 70 millimeter IMAX, unfortunately. That's only 12 theaters in the world, and I think the closest one is Nashville.
Sure,
but still IMAX screening. I saw Oppenheimer and the 70 millimeter IMAX, and that was fucking pristine.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So Dune 2.
Yes.
Wow. Maybe, I think probably the best movie going experience I have had since Uncut Gems. And that was before the pandemic.
Okay.
So well paced, so well acted. The movies are back, Jason. All the stars are here.
Cinema.
She's back, baby. Mise-en-scene. You've got Timothy Chalamet, you got Christopher Walken,
Austin Butler, from what I understand.
Austin Butler is a fucking red incel.
Hell yeah! All right,
from ED Prime, is that the name of the play?
I think that's what. Yeah,
yeah. Just a really great Elisa Doe's in there. For a hot second, and she's great. Florence Poe is in there.
Holy cow! Florence Poe and Lea Seydoux in the same movie. No wonder you had to go.
And they do share a scene together. And even better, one of the scenes they share together is actually shot on a repurposed old Russian lens. I believe it's a Helios 44-2. And there's a company in the UK, I just read an article about this. There's a company in the UK that actually took these old film camera lenses and put them in modern, not just mounts, but actually redid the casing.
Oh, wow.
For people that know, a lot of high-end theater or movie lenses are so expensive that you rent them from a company. You don't buy, like Warner Brothers maybe owns some stuff. You're basically renting them from production houses.
Yeah.
And this is a production house in Europe.
Wow.
And that's like one of their specialties is that they have these old vintage camera lenses.
So they rebuilt this lens just for this movie?
Not for this movie, but it's a thing that you can rent from them.
Oh, wow. So
they're using like this, I can't remember the format that it's shot on. It's probably like Super 7 or something. The Helios 44-2 is a copy of a I want to say a Zeiss lens or a Leica lens. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's a Russian reproduction of something that was much, much more expensive, made in Germany or some shit. But has a very interesting bokeh, the out of focus, and they're very soft. The scenes that most of Christopher Walken's scenes and Florence Poe's scenes, I believe, are shot with these lenses. They do have a different image, the quality of the picture to the rest of the movie, because the rest of the movie can be very color corrected and everything. ED Prime is all shot in infrared, black and white.
Oh, wow.
So it's really interesting.
Villeneuve is just such an interesting filmmaker. I've been a fan of his since I saw Arrival.
I didn't like Arrival.
Whether or not you like the film.
I mean, aesthetically, it had lots of very interesting things going on.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the dumbest endings in any movie I've ever seen.
That's debatable, but the principle of the thing is I became a fan of his after seeing that movie, and it's been fascinating watching what he's chosen to do, and the fact that he's taking on Dune as this massive project is like, oh, I'm watching a fucking master at work here.
Oh, no, Arrival was like, oh, okay, this guy's really interesting. And then I heard he was doing Blade Runner, and I was actually really disappointed to hear that this is the guy doing Blade Runner. The guy that, like, Arrival, put in the perspective, that last line, Arrival, I actually cackled like Edna Krabappel in the theater.
Yeah.
I was like, ha! All right, well, this is like, it was like, I remember like walking out, I was like, you ever see a movie that made you realize you just wasted your time just because of how it ended?
I don't agree about that one, but I get what you're saying. Yes,
it would have been better if she had farted. Like, oh man, she held that in the whole movie. The whole movie. She felt so comfortable to let that one rip. I just think that script had some issues.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But the principle of the thing is, you can see, like, okay,
these giant pieces of black rice have descended from the sky,
and somehow he made it look like this is terrifying, actually. Yeah. Like, okay.
But Blade Runner 2049, I think, is fantastic.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the first Dune movie. I actually prepared myself because I had to watch the pets. Saturday night, I did rewatch the original Dune movie on Max, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's the only second time I watched it, and the first time I watched it was when it first debuted on HBO Max a million years ago.
Yeah, but before, that's right, before the name changed. Jesus.
I think it still might have been HBO Go back then. But anyways, I was like, fuck, man, this is good. I'm psyched. Then on the second viewing, like, oh, there's some shortcomings. Like, the Harkonnens, as I say,
Harkonnen,
like, really don't have a lot to do.
Yeah,
Batista's like,
yeah,
and I hate to say that
they're table setting.
They're table setting, sure, but I'm also sorry to say that Dave Bautista is I almost feel like he's wasted in this, just as much as Jason Momoa was wasted as Duncan Idaho. Like, I just don't. Those are two things I would nitpick.
Sure,
both those movies. That some people just aren't used as well. Like, Bautista, his character, and I have not read the books.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's so one note in the books. But it's just like, really, it's just like, I'm bad. Like, it's basically, I want to find the space manager.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, that's in the original novel. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
He wants to know why his coupon, he can't use his expired coupon.
Yeah, no,
he's asking his uncle why he can't use his expired space coupon.
He's pissed at the Atreides family for reasons that are unclear, and that's just the whole character motivation in the book.
Well, isn't it because the Atreides forefather betrayed the Harkonians or something?
There's some shit that goes on 3 books deeper that I have never gone and investigated, but I just know that, like, in Dune, in the book that that these films are sourced on, there's not a lot of reasoning behind. He's just mad. He's giving it to you as it is on the page. Like, this is just he's just a mad guy.
Yeah. Everything's so well shot. The casting is so interesting. The set design, the costumes.
Rebecca Ferguson as the mom? Fucking
just the way that the plot is woven, and you start seeing these little seeds get planted very early on, but then you get reintroduced some of these things very early on in part 2, and seeing these things grow and seeing how Paul resigns himself to this terrible fate. Like, he feels it. I'm not sure if it's expressed in the book, but it's almost like he realizes he can't fight it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even...
Like, he has these visions. He knows what terrible things are going to happen, but he doesn't know how to avoid it.
It's almost like when Herbert was writing the book, he was really thinking about, like,
cocaine?
Well, that too. But the myth of Oedipus. Like, Oedipus is told his fate, and so he does everything he can to fight it. But in this version, I know what's coming, and I feel powerless to stop it, as opposed to I'm trying everything I can to avoid it.
Right, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on where it's outside his direct control. I mean, most of it's the machinations of his mother
and the religious order that she
fanatics.
follows. Yeah, the Bene Gesserit or whatever. However they say it. I forget how that's actually.
I knew how to say it until you said it. But I mean, it's just like little things like, Florence Poe. She's British, but she's using the flat American accent like she did in Midsummer.
Midsummer, yeah.
Christopher Walken's not really hamming up. I know I already kind of, whoa, wow, it's Dom.
Shai Hulud.
Shai Hulud, wow.
The sleeper awakens.
Wow, well, that's your father's ring? I hope it wasn't anyone's ass.
Yeah.
I'll kiss it. You just gotta tell me, was in your ass?
Now, who does he play?
He plays the Emperor.
Oh,
which is like weird because the Emperor is just kind of like a guy from Long Island.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's always been presented as just like a figurehead. He's not really the power behind the throne has always been the Harkonnens, and so that's a whole thing. And he's a guy. He's just a guy.
It's like a fucking 2.5, 3 hour movie, and it never dragged.
Which is great.
Really,
yes. Oh.
The movie theater experience, like I don't think unless you had like a really nice home theater could get anything comparable of just being in this giant screen that have these huge speakers that have all of this sound swelling around you, be able to see all of this detail, to see there's so much expressive stuff that I think that would get lost even on like a good 4K TV.
Sure.
I just really can't stress just how well it flowed because it's the middle movie of a trilogy, and the last third of the movie I just kept feeling like, oh fuck, they're gonna end it right here and it's gonna be a crappy cliffhanger. No, they took it all the way to what I believe is a natural end of the first book. Set up a good cliffhanger, much better cliffhanger than the first part.
Yeah, that definitely had an odd ending. It's like, well, your journey is just begun. I can't remember what it actually was said.
And they got characters played by that guy from No Country for Old Men.
You're talking about
Javier
Bardem.
Yes. Who doesn't even really look like him because I'm not used to seeing him like with like a beard and like hair comb like that.
Yeah.
Because even in Mother, he's pretty suave looking.
Yeah, he's well clean shaven in that. Yeah, for sure.
But he gives one of the best performances of the film.
I love him, so I'm very excited. That's great. I love him.
It's just so much. It's fun. Like it's a blockbuster movie. It's a spectacle, but there's so much intention and artistry. I mean, it's like talking about Seven, where there feels like we were talking with Wack Nicholson. What makes this movie feel special is that there does seem to be so much intentionality. There's so much work, and I feel like that's missing. And it's one of those things where I always feel bummed about the Ghost in the Shell live adaptation because there really was so much care that Weta put into those special effects.
ScarJo, people bitched about her not being Asian in the movie. I'm like, but it's a shell. That's not Makoto's physical self. That's just a body. Like she's playing it like that. Like there's a whole thing going on. Like,
and there's a weird thing at the end that ties all around. I'm like, they could have done that better, but like I don't.
It's
like,
not a bad movie. That's the thing. Is like it's not a bad movie. It's okay.
It has some great action scenes. Like it's one of those things that was damned before it was even born.
Well, yeah, because you have such an amazing source material to work from that they did a bunch of shit that was just shot for shot from the original movie.
But they did like their own thing on it. Like they did their own flair.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is like the source material is so good. There's not much room for improvement.
For deviation.
And that any time that you would do an improvement or a change on it, the fans of the original material are going to be like, well, that's different.
Yeah.
And different is bad, apparently. But, say what you will about Scarlett Johansson's performance in that, which I thought it was appropriate. I thought it fine. I thought it worked. But, I mean, it's a great adaptation of an amazing piece of material that you're working with. And so, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? Because they even included an ending that kind of riffed on some stuff from the 2 seasons of TV that came after.
Yeah, well, like the robot geisha that's from
that's from 2, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah,
it's from the second movie. And I think they did a riff on the convenience store scene from 2 as well. But I'm trying to remember, I haven't seen.
It is
that in a
amazing
while.
how much people have forgotten that movie exists. It's like the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2, fucking go see it. Go see it in the theaters. Go see, if you can see it in IMAX, probably see it in IMAX. I only saw it on super screen, which was still fine. Like, still.
I was going to say, it's pretty big still. I mean,
It's still a very good viewing experience, don't get me wrong.
And then the other thing that I was going to bring up, Breath Mint wise, was going to be another sequel, Spider-Man 2 for the PS5.
Spider-Man stole that guy's pizza.
So Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. Unfortunately, this is going to be I do not recommend, especially if you've played the first one and the Miles Morales standalone DLC type of game, because it's that. It's just that again. I don't know. Something about it. I can't vibe with it this time around. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it's just not hitting. It's not hitting the same. It could be that I'm coming off of 2 different Persona games. I'm coming off of 3 Reload and then 5 Tactica. There's a lot of hand-holding when you're starting because it's assuming that you've never played an Insomniac Marvel Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
So that sucks. This story's fine, I guess. Kraven the Hunter shows up in New York and starts hunting down all the iconic Spider-Man villains. And so now you have to save the bad guys from Kraven the Hunter. Cool. But then it also has Harry Osborn becoming Venom? They're trying to put too much... It's Spider-Man 3, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 syndrome. They're trying to cram too much into it.
Right.
Because the first game was Mr. Negative. That was the main... You had a few appearances by some other minor villains,
right.
but
Black Cat. And...
Yeah, Taskmaster was in it. Electro was in a brief fight scene. And Vulture was it. There was a few of the Rogues Gallery, but it wasn't. This feels like a sprawling mess. They're trying to do too much, and they have you playing missions as both Peter and Miles. Double the amount of story missions because Peter has his missions, Miles has his. I'm staring down the barrel of like 30 hours of this game, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it, man.
Do you feel like there's an appropriate amount of puddles, though?
Puddles, next gen. Fantastic. Love it.
Exceptional.
But there is that GTA 5 thing where you can add a touch of maybe 2 buttons, switch from one character to the other, and they're across town. And it's seamless. It just goes, and that's fine. There's fucking mini games, and it's just like, I don't know, man. We did this already, didn't we?
I've never played any of the Insomniac Spider-Man games. I watched a friend's husband play Miles Morales and the PS4 Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this is really pretty, and like the combat looks really good, and I didn't hate it.
The first one is so good and damn near perfect as far as like a gaming experience goes that trying to do it again feels almost like, I don't need to do this again. I've played this and it was great.
Right.
And what are we? Horizon Zero Dawn had that same problem when they had a sequel, Forbidden West.
Yeah, man, people...
It was more of the same, but unfortunately, the first game was so good.
Yeah, the first one was fantastic.
The first one was so good that anytime you're going to try to follow that up, it's going to be disappointing somehow, and I'm feeling that same way about Spider-Man 2. It's an Insomniac Spider-Man game. It's more of the same, but I'm also going, okay, and...
Sure.
I don't know. It could just be me. I could just be coming off of a JRPG vibe, and I've got to take a little time to recalibrate. Played Foam Stars. That kind of sucked.
I heard it's like got some weird tone issues. The gameplay isn't
it's
bad.
Fine.
But there's there's like some basically some stuff like don't be racist in the teen chat.
Yeah.
Listen, you son of a bitch.
I will say whatever I want in the team chat. Well, maybe not me, but I will hear people say things that they want in the team chat.
It's not a multiplayer game on a console if people aren't saying the most out-of-pocket
absolute
shit in the
bonkers
fucking
shit.
lobby.
Yeah. And But it's also trying to be like a Splatoon type of deal.
But with foam?
It just doesn't work. It's just something about it is off. And you can really see the joints. You can kind of see the...
Yeah, I heard the story's weird, too. I saw some stuff...
Where, like, whatever there is of
the
story.
character's realizing she can create foam.
Oh, and like
in the butt. Like, it was weird,
like a puberty analog. Yeah.
Yeah, or like having like your first period. Yeah. But it's like foaming. And I'm just like, I don't need this. I don't need to know this exists.
There's a person who has a foam...
This is deviant art shit. I don't need it in a video game.
Yes, it's... All you need is here's a foam gun. And
foam stuff with it.
Yeah.
I don't need to think about anything deeper in that.
No. And they even go so far as like, we don't call them kills in this game. You're just sending your enemy to chill.
We call them chills. Yeah, I heard. I listened to the guys on Laser Time talk about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, boy.
And boy, they were all just basically like really wanted to like this game.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Splatoon. I don't know why the creator of this game is getting mad on Twitter that people are comparing this game to Splatoon because like the comparisons are pretty fucking thick.
Yeah, it's not. There's no question in my mind. Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I said, "Oh yeah, this is a Splatoon clone." It's not exactly because you're not painting. You can actually create
you can create hills and stuff, and you can use that to actually get to certain parts of levels.
It's just kind of neat or whatever, but it's not.
I basically what I heard is that like there's only 2 or 3 game modes. They're a little limited.
There's like 3 maps. Yeah, it's not. It's not great.
I mean, the finals only has like 3 or 4 maps, but
finals has fucking gameplay though.
Yeah, and also variations and
yeah.
Every time I hop back in, I'm like, man, it's still good. I wish there was more.
And it just
more
looks
stuff.
good. Something that whatever they did, whatever engine they're in, it looks
also,
good.
I found out it's a lot of people that worked on the Battlefield games.
Oh, that makes sense then. Yeah.
I got one last thing.
Yeah.
So I had some insomnia earlier in the week. Just trying to find something like maybe they'll make me reset the clock and fall back asleep. Tried reading, fucking around the internet. And I'm like, no, fuck it, whatever. So I sat in front of the TV. Nothing streaming that really caught my eye. And when I can't find anything, I'm just like, fuck it, Disney Plus. Maybe I'll watch some old Simpsons, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll watch the Marvels.
Okay.
One of those things too is like, is this how dumb the Culture War has gotten? Because I didn't think it was a terrible movie. It wasn't like mind blowing. It wasn't fantastic, but I was like, I wasn't bored.
No.
I think
it moves at a brisk pace for sure.
At a brisk pace, like it has a better tone than most Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why were people? I mean, I can see why like it wasn't great in the box office, but
I think it's because Samuel L. Jackson says the words "black girl magic" one time.
In the way and where he says it is a little cringe.
Yeah, but I mean that's Nick Fury. He can be a little cringe. It's fine.
Yeah, no, but aside from like some of that stuff, like it was. I mean, yeah, it's Samuel Jackson, it's Nick Fury, and he's chewing the fucking scenery
as always.
He's having a great time. Like the young lady that plays Kamala Khan, she's great. I mean, like there's just so much like little stuff. Like this why this is like a fun movie. I don't have to think too hard.
No,
but I also don't feel like it's insulting me. The stuff they did with the power swapping was like some of those scenes were really fun.
Kind of neat. It was just fun to watch.
And
the musical planet.
I was gonna say the Bollywood planet was like really fucking funny. Like it felt like something that was left over from Ragnarok, like the tone wise.
Yeah, but it worked.
It worked, and I was like, I don't hate this. It's not my favorite comic book movie. It's not the worst.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Half the time when I see these movies, I don't understand what all the fuss is about. That's the same reaction. Like, what are we?
Why do people hate this?
Yeah,
like it's not terrible. It's actually kind of. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a confection. It's a light little
yeah,
nothing.
It's just something to fucking gnaw on.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I heard it wasn't that good from people like whose opinions I kind of trusted.
Yeah,
even as far as comic book movies go, and I watched it. I'm like,
I don't see it.
It's not worse than. Is it worse than Age of Ultron?
It's about 45 minutes shorter.
Yeah,
so that's a point in its favor.
I forget
honestly.
that movie exists.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
You're not being flippant. No,
yeah, big comic book movie fan, but like I usually kind of remember like Civil War.
Yeah,
has some really great moments.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is fun.
Iron Man 3.
You could tell Winter Soldier, they still didn't really have the tone right.
No.
I felt like that could have been a much better. It was fun, but it could have been a much better movie.
There's the bones of like a Cold War thriller in there, but I don't think they went far enough. I think there's a few scenes, especially early on, that they could have really, if it was anyone other than the Russo brothers helming that one, that maybe we could have gotten something a bit more, I don't know, not necessarily Ice Station Zebra, but something Cold War adjacent, something a little bit more paranoid.
I feel that Black Widow kind of got some of that better.
Oh, absolutely. And Florence Pugh. Again,
how does she keep doing it?
I don't know.
How does she keep getting away with it?
Exactly.
Exactly right. I need the Florence Pugh Sam Hyde with the AK-47 T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, who else was in that? From Stranger Things. What is his name?
The big guy.
Yeah, who plays Hopper. But
yeah, who was in the movie that everyone forgot about.
Exactly. I don't even know what movie you're talking about. So yeah. Hellboy?
Hellboy.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. I was like, I know it's Hell something. I was blanking out.
Well, it's the same thing with like when you're trying to remake Ghost in the Shell. You're trying to remake Hellboy, which Guillermo del Toro got right the first time.
Yeah, and the second Hellboy movie is so much fucking fun.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a shame there wasn't a third.
I kind of feel like they could have just kept making those.
Hellboy and Selma Blair having their little Zionist hellspawn baby.
And you think they would have recast her in the third one? And just been like,
I don't need like a weird little red baby with a stone fist and pyro powers telling me there was a ceasefire on October 6th. Before we get into the end of this episode, I want to give my hot take about what's going on in the Middle East.
Oh boy,
which is that, you know what, we should stop dropping aid in Gaza.
Okay,
and what we really should do is we should just push John Fetterman into Gaza. See how he fucking likes it.
Just let him.
All right, there. See, try post your fucking Simpsons gifs now, you. Motherfucker.
Let him deal with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see how you like it. Let's see how.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be so pretty to your rockabilly wife now.
Well, this is, as you said, this is about the time, the show where we tell people where to find us online. If they want to tell me that my opinion on the Ghost in the Shell movie is wrong, well, you can just keep that to yourself. Brian, where can they tell you things?
If you also want to talk about bad internet discourse about movies and performers and stuff, you can find me on social media. Most social media platforms is either iShotGuideboard, ISHOTGUIDBORD, or A Music Photographer. If you want to check out some photos, my portfolio, it's Asshole Music Photographer. Check out some photos with words, amusicphotographer.com. Photographing Maddie Diaz tomorrow night off Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe I'll have something up by then. I don't have my fucking blonde redhead stuff finished because life's been a little fucking hectic. But hopefully that will be up by the time this episode is live. And maybe the Maddie Diaz stuff will be up by then. We'll see.
Crossing my fingers.
Blonde Redhead stuff's going to be over on the artsstl.com. It's the last only good media website left in St. Louis. God help us. But we're trying to fucking keep the dream alive. So give us some clicks. Great little review of Dune 2, the Eat Me in St. Louis article, which is great.
Yes.
Apparently, they're selling posters with the sandwiches.
Hell yeah.
I respect that. We are a big sandwich loving ass town here in St. Louis.
Oh,
it's one
for
of the few
sure.
things I like about us. You know what? Put it between two pieces of bread. Fuck it.
I'll
eat it.
You got to eat.
Man's got to eat. Man's got to eat, Mr. Leahy.
Damn right. Damn right.
Jason,
yes.
Where can they harass you and tell you you're gay?
Well, you can tell me any number of things at Video Crime. That's most websites that are going to have an option. Well, it's Video Crime for me, including Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, etc., with the exception, notably, of TikTok and Instagram. And those places I am Laser Goose CEO. That's laser with an S, because I know how to spell it. You can find the show, 48minutesofdogsbarking.com. Shoot us an email, Jason at 48minutesofdogsbarking.com or Brian with a Y at 48minutesofdogsbarking.com. That's right. And you can also give us a phone call, leave us a voicemail, or send us a text, 314-246-9766. That's 314-AHOY POO. And support the show, patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. The challenge is still out there.
It's still fucking live. $10, motherfuckers. Put it on the fucking barrel and we'll watch some people puke.
For an hour and a half, we will watch puking and fucking in a video called Garo Monster Home Delivery. If we get to 10 supporters, we have one. We have one.
We have one supporter so far. You know who that is?
That's my your girlfriend's mom. Supporter of the show from day one, by the way. We gotta love that. We gotta
absolute
love that.
ride or die. We appreciate you.
Yeah, big ups, Kim. Thank you.
It's just what the fuck.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I got that email and I was like, really? Okay.
But you want to know? There's some scheming here.
Okay.
Because apparently, the girlfriend's mom told my girlfriend, you know, we could create. I'm paraphrasing here. I may be misremembering it. I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer. How can I be?
I was saying, I'm the one drinking Bud Light or Busch Light.
Full beer.
Busch
I'm
Light.
drinking near beer.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're like, you know, you could make 10 email accounts and 10 Patreon accounts.
They really want to see us suffer, is what we're saying.
Yeah. I really would. I mean, I'm like thinking there's so many people out there that I think that dislike me that if they knew that if 10 of them or 9 of them in this case, got $10 a piece together, that's $90.
Yeah.
Which I'm fairly
One
certain
time.
that like there's people out there that are probably mad that I was at a Bonerville show 10 years ago.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Here's $10.
I mean, like, I just think about all the people that hold, like, I was like telling my new therapist, is like, you know, I tried to keep my shit written in chalk. Some of these motherfuckers kept it written in fucking permanent ink.
Right.
It's just, it's really nice. I've had 2 therapists in 2 years, and they're both like, maybe you should leave St. Louis. It doesn't seem like you're happy here. And I'm like, I'm fucking trying, man. Fucking trying. The circumstances.
He is from circumstances.
I'm most certainly a man from circumstances. But anyways,
yes.
$90 fucking dollars.
$90.
Fucking get together, you rubes.
Let's go, babies.
I have not vomited in a long time.
Yeah, it's time.
I want to be my own Guro home delivery.
It's up for grabs, I guess is the phrase I should say.
Have you downloaded the torrent yet?
I will, on advice of counsel, I will not speak further on this matter. But what I will say, what I will also say is that J-List does have some stuff. Anyway,
God, we're gonna buy off. Can't even get off Crunchyroll.
No, Crunchyroll will not carry it.
But wasn't Crunchyroll where you could buy like Rayplay or whatever, like 15 years
Used
ago?
to be able to, yes.
And we'll get on the little streaming soapbox here for a hot second. Is apparently, like everything else, one company buys another company, and then they decide that, you know what, we're going to make the product worse, and then charge you more money.
Oh yeah.
So apparently, a lot of people that have Crunchyroll subscriptions are very upset, and Funimation subscriptions for different reasons. But it's getting more expensive, and the service is getting worse. And you know what? Fuck this country. It's a failed experiment. I you know what? I much preferred it when anime came on $40 tapes, or shit that you dubbed at your friend's house when you guys were smoking out of a fucking gravity bong that involved a Folgers can and a wine bottle.
At least as far as cost goes, I'll take the current state. But yeah, I get what you're saying. 2 episodes per tape for fucking $40? Are you shitting me? Yeah. Sorry. I just... Motherfucker, are you serious? Yeah.
Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Cat Williams being pissed at the anime store.
Run the 1/2 for $4,000 fucking dollars. Are you serious?
I Shonen jump your ass.
As we always say at this time, namaste, good luck.
Eat the knife and give mommy a good gut fucking.
And don't forget to floss. Yeah. Anyway, have a good night.